You're welcome back. Time for business now, and Emmanuel Abuajiri joins us with details. Take it away, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much, Araba, and thanks for joining me on business. The World Bank insists the recent financial support for Ghana is critical to enable the country quickly exit the debt crisis towards economic recovery. The bank recently signed a $700 million security guarantee with government in respect of the sale of gas produced by the Sankofa Ginyame gas project. Some analysts have since raised concerns the bank's decision would rather plunge Ghana into further debt crisis, considering the country's debt to GDP ratio, which crossed the 70% mark in September this year. But speaking with Joy Business, Country Director for Ghana, Liberia and Sierra Leone, Henry Kerali, said this is actually the best time to step in with such support. He adds it expects Ghana to urgently reform its economy.
The economy is struggling. This is the time that the World Bank group as a whole comes in as a partner, because countries like Ghana will find it much more difficult to access funds from capital markets. In other words, it will be much more expensive for Ghana to go to capital markets. The World Bank Group has a fixed standard rate regardless of the shape of your economy. So it is in times of difficulties when the World Bank Group is really needed by countries like Ghana.
There's no free lunch. What are you expecting in return?
In return, we expect reforms. We expect Ghana to implement reforms to improve efficiencies, first of all, in the various sectors. Let's take energy. We expect much more efficient production of electricity. We expect much more efficient distribution of electricity. We know, for example, that right now the distribution company, ECG, has losses of about 30%, technical losses and commercial losses. So we will work with ECG, we'll work with the government to try and reduce those losses and make sure that much of the energy that is produced actually ends up in powering our homes and industries.
An economist at the University of Ghana, Professor Quartey, is concerned about the figure allocated to compensations in the 2017 first quarter budget estimates. In an interview with Joy Business, Professor Quartey said the situation will affect government's ability to contain excessive expenditure.
Then, if you look at it, it's something that is not just popping up. That has been the trend. We spend so much money paying for salaries and wages, compensation, etc. So it is not new. This is where we find ourselves, especially after the single spine wage salary structure was implemented. We find that over 50 to 60% of our total revenue goes into wages and compensation. But also, it is quite worrying that we are spending so much money paying for servicing our loans, and if we are not careful, if we do not invest this money into productive ventures, in the next 10 to 15 years, we'll really have ourselves to blame.
Professor Quartey, this is not the first time we are getting here. Why do we always have to get here, paying interest on loans and salaries? Is it a matter of poor planning or mismanagement?
Well, I think some of the borrowing that we have undertaken, we have not been very prudent in terms of investing them into very productive activities that would generate costs for us to be able to repay some of these loans. So gradually we continue to accumulate more debt. We borrow to pay off old loans and continue to borrow. But actually what you should be doing is to borrow to invest so that you can repay. But if we borrow to repay old or existing debt all the time, and we are not generating enough revenue to pay some of these loans or debt, then we find ourselves in this situation.
Now, anyone who wishes to work in a hotel or any hospitality organization will have to be certified by the Ghana Tourism Authority, GTA. These are part of measures by the authority to check indiscipline in the tourism industry. Acting Chief Executive Officer of the authority, Gideon Aikwe, disclosed this to Joy Business at the Greater Accra Regional Tourism Awards held at the Kempinski Hotel in Accra. He also outlined his aims and aspirations for the industry during his tenure as CEO.
We're instituting what we have through the hot cart to make sure that at least the kind of training that is expected. Very soon, you would have to have a certificate before you are employed. A certificate signed by Ghana Tourism Authority before you are employed into the hospitality industry, just to make sure that at least we give quality service to the clients.
But is the authority putting in any mechanism to instill discipline into the system so that hotels who are not doing as you just said can be penalized or given some kind of sanctions in a way?
It's all part of it. It's all part of it. If I have to tell you, there are quite a number of hotels who have flouted our regulations and they have suffered the penalties for it. So it is already in the pipeline. We're already instituting it.
What's the future of the industry moving forward?
Acting CEO, the vision is a lot. The vision is a lot, but the mind is to at least bring tourism to its echelon, get tourism to that pedestal.
Now, the Director of Crop Research at the Center for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, Dr. Stella Ama-Enin, says Ghana has the potential to become Africa's leader in tomato production if greenhouse farming is expanded. She called for a halt in the importation of various foreign tomato brands and other tomato products into the country. Dr. Stella Ama-Enin was speaking at a practical training on tomato cultivation in greenhouse and open field for farmers and other interest groups held in Kumasi. Ashanti Regional Correspondent Kwesi Debra reports.
Greenhouse farming involves protection of plants against climate, pests and nutrient deficiency in restricted space. China accounts for 31% of the world's tomato production, with annual levels of over 50 tons. Ghana is so far the largest importer of tomato paste, second only to Germany. According to Dr. Enin, Ghana can overturn the scales if farmers get the needed support.
Ghana is spending over $100 million importing tomatoes, either in the fresh form or tomato paste. But we have varieties here that we can use for our normal dishes and also for processing into tomato paste. So ultimately, we expect that we will be able to cut down on the amount of money we spend on imports. In fact, I am hopeful that with the support, if the farmers are able to get some support to put up these structures and to go into the production, Ghana should be able to produce more than what we need, process and even export.
Government of India is collaborating with Ghana for a pilot research project on tomato production in Ghana. The project, which will cost $1 million, will engage stakeholders in large and profitable cultivation. Project coordinator Akhilesh Tiwari is upbeat farmers will recoup their investment in less than 4 years.
Investment is high, but you can see we can get 10 times more production in comparison of open field. So in 2-3 years, farmer can get good money and make good money in 2-3 years. Initially investment is high, but production is also very high in comparison of.
Though participants are happy about the project, they have funding concerns.
This initiative will help farmers a lot.
This is good news. It seems to be free from sickness. Government should support farmers financially.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Debra.
And that's all in business for now. Thank you very much for watching and do have a great weekend. But for more news in business, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Emmanuel Apuaji-Wiafi. More stories coming up. Don't go away.